Khano yatha vedasa masajrete.
Yeah, I will have to send normally, and to all others, if they are still waiting also. Context email.
Svastino Varehaspadadadharo Varehadashava Marutaha Prasnimataraha Suhanjavano Vidate Kodagamayaha Aganidrupa Manabaha Surajapano.
Donc, je vais envoyer.
I don't know.
No, it should come, I think so.
Should have internet.
Oh, you have no internet?
Internet connection, but I need the password or no?
Yeah, but last time you had it, and normally that should still be valid. It was that one.
Yeah.
It is low. So yeah. Open that YouTube password. Yes, the next one. This one. And then automatically join.
It's not for any password.
In the past you gave the chip to.
Yeah, I got it.
Ok. Maintenant, quelqu'un est dans le Zoom waiting room, semble-t-il, mais that's it. So that at least one. Yes. Voilà. Satyanath. I should send. I have to everyone send, but of course they expect it to be there at 10, but that is not possible. And I should give you the multiple participants advanced sharing options. All participants can share. But not simultaneously. That is a little too much. I think so.
Can you share the screen? Yeah.
Okay, I think slowly you're getting somewhere. Alors,
Okay, good.
Tous ceux qui sont arrivés merci au campus Condorcet, peu loin de Paris, mais quand même nouveau campus. Et donc, on a fait une bonne promenade à partir de la station. Donc, c'est la troisième conférence aujourd'hui de professeur Amal Karmi, professor and head of our previous method now, professor at the University of Heidelberg in the Sanskrit studies, and of course, very good. She was here already in 2007. We organized first Sanskrit interpretation and linguistics conference in Paris. Actually, we were named organizer, we were co-organizer, and we are also organizers 7. Now, 15 years later, you are back with a series of lectures on the topic. And I think I will not wait longer and give you the word on this very interesting topic of how free is the free word order in Sanskrit. So you all know that Sanskrit has a free word. We several studies about that. But in fact, we dive into tradition and also while in her work of the Sanskrit parsing, etc., she has been finding new things about the topic. So we are looking forward to hear your lecture. So, we'll see whether any other one is for the
Zoom, there was a problem with Zoom, so I had to make a new link. And
next will also be a new link probably. Okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much. There is an echo. I think you need to you need to reduce the volume.
I will switch that off. Let's get first of all this. Full screen. And voilà. And this is off. And my mute.
Okay. So thank you very much and welcome to this talk on how free is the free word order in Sanskrit. This work, actually my students Preeti Shukla, colleague Devanand Shukla and another student Sanal Vikram, they are the collaborators. We work together on this particular topic, especially for analysis of various Sanskrit sentences, empirical study, and also insights from the tradition. All these have contributed a lot. Okay, so what happened? How to go to next screen? Thing is happening. I don't know how to. The screen is not moving. It is frozen. Okay. Okay. So, as all of us know, Sanskrit is inflectionally rich, and the conventional wisdom about Sanskrit is that it's a free word order language. So, does that mean all permutations are possible? So, if I have a sentence such as Ramaha Gramam Gacchati, there are 3 words, 3 factorial, 6 permutations are there. And we see that whatever way we, whatever order we use, Ramaha Gramam Gacchati, Gramam Ramaha Gacchati, Gacchati Ramaha Gramam, etc., we get the same gross meaning. Of course, there will be some small variations such as topicalization, etc., but otherwise, the gross meaning is the same. Here is another example where we have non-finite verb pitva. Ramaha dugdham pitva shalam gacchati. And since there are 5 words, 5 factorial permutations, 120 permutations are possible. Now the question is, are all permutations meaningful here also? And do they convey the same meaning? And the answer is no. Here is an example. For example, we can have Ramaha dugdham shalam pitva gacchati. Doesn't make sense. So some orders are okay, some permutations are not fine. You don't get the meaning out of it. So the question is, what are the constraints? when do we get, what are the, which permutations are possible and which are not? This is the question. And we get a clue from our tradition, Vishwanath Panchanan, which I mentioned in my previous talk also. In Nyaya Siddhanta Muktavali, this is the text. And under the Shabda Khanda, while discussing Sannidhi, he gives this example, he gives this statement, Girir Bhuktam Agniman Devadattena Ityadau Na Shabda Bodhaha. There is no Shabda Bodha, there is no verbal comprehension in a sentence such as Girir Bhuktam Agniman Devadattena. And why? Because Giri is related to Agniman and Bhuktam is related to Devadattena. So there is a violation of proximity. The words which are related, they are intervened by something else. And therefore, in such cases, there is no verbal understanding or comprehension. So from this, we may think that, well, we can have verbal understanding, or the permutation is fine if there is no intervention. So this is, for example, this is a sentence, Ramaha shalam dugdham gacchati pitva, and it does not lead to any verbal cognition. So the question is, which word orders are allowed and which are not? This is the question. And as you have mentioned about Fritzsche, in 1967, he proposed a model, which is Kelder-Mobile model. And he says word order is free up to preserving constituency. So what is this Kelder-Mobile? He was I think, a sculptor who has made this. And here you will see that when you rotate it, all the things which are connected will rotate simultaneously. There will not be any interleaving of these, intermixing of this with this, etc. There is a very nice doodle developed by Google on Calder when it was his century, I think, birth century, and Google had developed a doodle where they moved this model to show how there is, well, so that is a model Fritzsche has proposed for Sanskrit free word order. So you cannot have the intermixing of the words among the clauses. And this is how Gillen puts this constraint, Stahl's constraint, in Gillen's words. If T is a labeled order-free phrase marker, Brendan Gillen, yeah. If T is a labeled order-free phrase marker associated with a sentence S, so you have some kind of phrase marking corresponding to the sentence S. And suppose NJ, NI and NJ are two distinct sister nodes. Below NI, there will be words which are dominated by NI, and NJ, there will be words dominated by NJ. And then he says, if any word in S dominated by NI precedes any word in S dominated by NJ, then every word in S dominated by NI precedes every word in S dominated by NJ. So you have one node, and the nodes which are dominated by NI are here. So if any of these precedes any of the words here, then all the words in this should precede all the words in this. This is how he has formulated this constraint which Stahl had proposed in the form of a Kelder-Mobile model. So essentially what he says is, in prose, and he looked only at prose, he didn't take the verses. Gillen did some empirical study on some texts. It was a Buddhist text, I think. It was a Nyaya text and one and few more, and also some sentences from Apte's grammar, which were all prose sentences. And what he observed is words from distinct clauses do not intermix. And then in terms of phrase structure, he has given certain constraints. But we were more interested in the dependency. So Gillen's study was confined to phrase structure grammar framework and prose, whereas we wanted to extend this to Paninian dependency framework and also to the shlokas. Because we are more interested in modeling it computationally so that we can parse the verses as well as sentences. So the question for us was, what is the mathematical model of sannidhi? Because sannidhi is something which is characterizing this. If we look at the Indian tradition, then there is a concept of sannidhi, which characterizes the constraints on word order. So the question is now how to model this sannidhi. Now here is a dependency tree for Ramaha Gramam Gacchati. We have Gacchati as the main verb and Rama is the karta and Grama is the karma. Now this tree, Gacchati Ramaha Gramam, of course Ramaha and Gramam, they can be in any order. Well, in this dependency tree, this order of these branches is not important. So you can have karma on the left and karta on the right, etc. So here we have two trees. One is Gacchati, Ramaha and Gramam, and the other one where Gramam is to the left and Ramaha is to the right. Now we can traverse this in these many different ways. If it is a pre-order, so we have verb first and then its arguments, Gacchati Ramaha Gramam, or we can traverse it in order, where we cover the left node first, then go to the verb and then right node. Or we can have the post order where the verb is at the end, the root is at the end. So we get three different orders. And here when Ramaha and Gramam are interchanged, we get three more. So total 6 orders we get by traversing this tree. So if I say that if we can traverse this tree in any of these orders, what we get is a possible word order in Sanskrit. So now I would like to generalize this traversal. Instead of 2, we can have n number of leaves here. We can have karta, karma, and various other arguments like karana, sampradana, apadana, etc. So there need not be only 2, there can be n leaves. And each of these leaves again can have its own arguments. If it is a non-finite verb, it can have its own arguments. So I can generalize the traversal as if it has more than 2 leaf nodes. Suppose A1 is the root node and A2 to AN are the leaf nodes. And this A2 to AN, this stands for all possible permutations of these n-1 nodes. Then pre-order traversal will be A1 followed by all possible permutations. In-order traversal will be A2 to AK. Then we have A1 and AK plus 1 to AN, where K varies from 2 to n-1, depending on how you are traversing. And we have the post order. And A2 to AN, they themselves can be trees. And if it is a tree, then at each of these nodes, we recursively traverse the subtrees in any of these 3 orders to get possible word orders. So these are the possible word orders. But then, are these the only possible word orders, or are there any other? So, well, but before that, so now if we have this sentence, Ramaha dugdham pitva shalam gacchati. If I follow these orders, any of these, I will never end with Ramaha shalam dugdham gacchati pitva, because it will be Ramaha, then shalam, dugdham, and after dugdham, without traversing pitva, you cannot go to gacchati. So we will not get this undesired order. But then the question is, whatever we have specified here, are these the only possibilities, or are there any more? So let us try to understand what is the problem with this sentence, Ramaha shalam dugdham gacchati pitva. So we looked at the computational linguistics, where there are studies about the possible word orders, not necessarily Sanskrit, but any language per se. So they have a concept of projectivity. Now, what is this projectivity? Here is a sentence, and here is the dependency graph of that sentence. Gacchati and then Ramaha, Gacchati and Shalam are related, and so on. So we take the projection of these leaf nodes, okay? And what we see there is this projection of this leaf node intersects with the dependency relation. And if such intersection is there, then such a sentence is considered to be, such a dependency graph is considered to be non-projective. So we have non-projectivity here, and non-projectivity is considered to be a bad thing. So such sentences are not good. Then there is a further constraint. Let me come to that slide little later. Now, if I take a sentence, Shwetaha Ashvaha Dhavati. Again, I can have 6 possible permutations like Ramaha Vanam Gacchati. And here, if we see, this Dhavati actually should be up. The node should be little up, and Ashvaha on this side. And you will see that there will be crossing. If I pull Dhavati up, then there will be a crossing. Similarly here, Ashvaha Dhavati Shvetaha. Dhavati, if I pull up, there will be a crossing with Ashvaha Shvetaha and Dhavati and this dotted line. But if I pull this circle down, then the crossing disappears. So essentially, though there are some crossings here, some of the crossings we can get rid of by arranging the nodes in a specific way. So this projectivity constraint is further relaxed, saying that, let me say it in this way. Instead of now projections and the dependency, we just have the dependencies, and all the dependencies we draw on one side of the sentence. If we draw all the dependency relations on one side, all the arcs on one side, if they do not cross, then it is considered to be weakly non-projective. And they say that, the computational linguists say, well, this is something which is a good constraint. Or when you do not have such crossings, the sentences are good. If there are crossings, the sentences are bad. Okay, so now you have a mathematical formulation model where you just draw these arcs, and if there are crossings, then the sentence is bad. And we see that in Ramaha Shalam Dugdham Gacchati Pitva, there is a crossing. This pitva dugdham and shalam gacchati, they are crossing each other, and therefore this is a bad sentence. Whereas here, shvetah dhavati ashvaha, there is no crossing, only you have a node which is common. That's it, but otherwise there is no crossing. There is one incoming and outgoing arrow, that's it. Whereas here there is a proper crossing. So wherever there is such crossing, the graph is not planar and the sentence is bad. Okay, so what we did was we looked at Bhagavad Gita and we found various anomalies like crossings. This is the verse 6.34. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavad dhrudam tasyaham nigraham manne vayoho iva sudushkaram. O Krishna, the mind is fickle, turbulent, obstinate, and strong. Hence, I think it is as difficult to control the wind. The mind is as difficult as the wind is to control. And here we see that I have given the numbers, I have given only relevant part. So, aham manne, aham nigraham manne, tasya nigraham aham manne. So you see here crossing, tasya nigraham, controlling it according to me or I think. So there is a crossing here between tasya nigraham and aham manne. There were such many instances found. Only one instance I have shown here. We will go to more little later. Now I want to introduce another concept, again found in computational linguistics, because they found that there are certain languages where this weak non-projectivity is not enough. They wanted to go for some more constraints. And the constraint here is, it's termed as well-nestedness. Now, what is well-nestedness? You have nesting of parentheses, one inside another, okay? So first I define few terms. Two trees are disjoint if neither of their roots dominates the other. So you have one tree and another tree, and these roots are independent, they are not dominating each other. Two subtrees T1 and T2, they interlive if there are nodes L1 R1 of T1 and L2 R2 of T2, such that L1 is before L2, which is before R1, or L2 is intervening between L1 R1 and R1 is intervening between L2 R2. So you have two trees T1 and T2. In T1 you have L1 R1, here L2 R2, and if there is interleaving between them, then we say that the trees interleave. A dependency graph, we say it is well nested if and only if there are no two of its disjoint subtrees interleave. So you have disjoint subtrees, and if they do not interleave, then the graph is said to be well nested. Now, but some interleaving is allowed. Interleaving is allowed if the root of a tree governs the root of another tree. So you have these two trees, and there is another tree, another root node, which governs the root of this, then interleaving of this and this is allowed. I will show with some examples. And further, dependency trees which have overlapping edges across disjoint trees, they are so if it is not well nested, then it is ill nested if you have interleaving. Here is an example. You have this root node, and this is a subtree. and this is another subtree. Now, if we plot these arrows, 1 is related to 2, 1 is related to 3, 3 to 4, and 2 to 5, we see that the arrow 1, 3 and the arrow 2 to 5, these two edges, 1, 3 and 2, 5, they cross each other. Okay. So in that sense, this is not a planar graph, but it is well nested because 5 is dominated by 2, 5 is governed by 2, and 4 is governed by 3, and you have proper nesting. So if there is a proper nesting, and of course 2 is governed by 1. So it is something like you have a verb and there are 2 arguments, maybe karta and karma. And karta has an adjective, karma has an adjective. Now the adjective of karta can go far away. And adjective of karma is together, or maybe adjective of karma goes far away, but adjective of karta is together. Such situation is allowed. This is the well-nested graph. But here is an ill-nested. Now you see, 1 is the root node, 2 and 3, these are dominated by 1. 3 and 5 are related, 2 and 4 are related. And there is a crossing between 3, 5 and 2, 4. Here there was a crossing between 1, 3 and 2, 5. Now there is a difference between these two. If I consider this, 1, 3 is a direct argument of the verb. And 2, 5, there is an adjectival relation. 3 and 5, here there is an adjectival relation. 2 and 4, adjectival relation. Whereas 1, 3 and 1, 2, there is direct argument. So what is happening here is the adjective of one argument is adjective of this argument is intervening between the adjectival relation between these two, or these 3 is intervening between the adjectival relation. This is considered to be a bad position. So you cannot have a verb, a karta, then karma, and then visheshan of karta, and then visheshan of karma, and then verb. Such thing is not good. So Veeraha Ramaha Madhuram Phalam Khadati. This is good, but Veeraha Madhuram Ramaha Phalam Khadati, this looks something bad. This is what this ill-nested graph says. But we have found several examples of this kind in Sanskrit. Why? It's possible because of the vibhaktis. See, the karta and karma will have different vibhaktis. So even if the adjectives go away, it doesn't matter much. So we have found several examples of this. This is another kind of ill-nested graph. Now the difference between these two is 2 and 3 both are dominated by 1. These are the arguments of 1. Here, 2 is not an argument of 1. So these two are 2 independent verbs, maybe. And these 2 independent verbs, they have their own arguments. And what we see is there is a verb, and then there might be some arguments here. In between, another verb comes, and then remaining arguments of this are there, and the argument of this is here, which is again a bad thing. This is ill-nested because there is a crossing between 1, 3 and 2, 5. So in all these three, there are crossings. Here there is a crossing between 1, 3 and 2, 5. Here also there is a crossing between 1, 3, 2, 5. But this is good and this is bad because this 2 is an argument of 1. Here this 2 is not argument of 1. And here 1, 3 and 2, 4, there is a crossing, but this is not good. 3, 5 and 2, 4, there is a crossing and it is not good because 3 and 2 are not related. Here 1, 3 and 2, 5, this crossing is good because 1 and 2 are related. So these are the well-nested and ill-nested concepts in the computational linguistics. Then we looked at the Indian tradition to see what are these ill-nested and well-nested graphs. Can we have a interpretation from the traditional point of view? So a little repetition. Last time we had seen a sentence is defined as an integral unit conveying a single purpose. When it is split into parts, some words in one part would have an expectancy for the other words in the other part. So you cannot split that, then it becomes one unit. And here the word ākāṅkṣā is used. So what is this ākāṅkṣā? What is the expectancy? We found that there are two types of expectancies. One is the utthita-ākāṅkṣā and the other one is utthāpya-ākāṅkṣā. Utthita-ākāṅkṣā is restricted expectancy. Utthāpya is unrestricted, or I don't know whether we should call it restricted. Somebody had translated it as restricted, but I would like to call it mutual and direct. The two words have mutual expectancy, such as the arguments, verb argument, karaka relations. And there are unilateral or potential expectancy, as in the adjectives or in genitives, etc., which is unilateral expectancy. Now, relations with mutual expectancies, for example, are karta, karma, karana, sampradana, etc. And relations with unilateral expectancies is a vocative, sambodhya, or the shashti sambandha, genitive relation, visheshana, an adjective, then pratishedha, a negation, and purva kala, precedence, samana kala, simultaneity, hetu, which is the reason, or prayojana is the purpose, kriya visheshana is the adverb, and so on. So these are where only one word has the expectancy for the other, whereas the karaka relations are have the mutual expectancies. And we have also seen that sannidhi discusses constraints on word order, which states that you cannot have this interleaving, etc., intermixing. So again, what we did was, we tried to look at the shlokas, and we wanted to see the relation between well-nested, ill-nested, and the mutual and unilateral expectancies. So here is an example from 7.2 Bhagavad Gita. Only part of it where the intersections are there we have shown. Jnanam aham idam vakshami. I will tell you this knowledge. So jnanam and idam, there is adjectival relation. Aham vakshami, this is the karta. and jnanam vakshami. This is the karma. So here we see the intersection. And what we see is this is well nested because in the case of well nested, whatever is the head of one, if whichever relations are crossing, if head of one of them is the same as the head of the other, as we have seen here, 1, 3, this is the root node. 2, 5, this is another one which is crossing. This 2 is dominated by the head of this. Then this is well nested. So here we have adjective and this one. So the root node of this is vakshami, and this node, which is the root node of adjective, is dominated by vakshami. And thus this is a well nested tree with crossing between karta and adjective, where karta is having mutual expectancy, whereas adjective has unilateral expectancy. Then we have another example. Yaha tanum bhaktaha architum ichchati. Sorry, there is something missing. It should be ichchati. So this tanum is body or form. So this devotee, that devotee who wants to worship or offer, it should be offer the body or worship the body. Architum, prachyam, it's worship. And here we have so many crossings. Architum ichchati, this is a karma. Bhaktaha ichchati, this is karta. For architum, tanum is the karma, and yaha bhaktaha, there is an adjectival relation. Now what we see here is, if we look at karta and karma, this crossing, there are two crossings. One is between karta and this karma, and another is between karma and adjective. This karta and karma, this is well nested because the root of this is, this architum is dominated by ichchati, which is root of another relation. So the crossing between karta and karma is well nested. But the crossing between karma and adjective, the head of this bhaktaha is dominated by ichchati, not architum. If it were dominated by architum, it would have been well nested, but this one is ill nested, the crossing between karma and adjective. So here we have one ill nested and one well nested crossing. And in the case of ill nested, we have mutual and unilateral again. And then we have this one, nischayam shrunu me bharata sattama. O Bharata, descendant of Bharata, listen to my decision. So nischayam shrunu, karma, and me nischayam, my decision. This is genitive, and there is a vocative relation. And we see there is a crossing between vocative and genitive. Okay. And this vocative and genitive is again good. Why? because the if we look at this genitive, then this is dominated by shrunu, which is the root of this vocative, and therefore this is well nested. So we have seen examples where we have these well nested and ill nested cases. Crossings are there. Here is another one, which is unilateral. This unilateral was well nested. And this unilateral is ill nested. Te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnanam. So, so what we see here is te pravakshami. This is the recipient. To you, I will reveal. What is being revealed? The greatest secret, guhyatamam, which is an adjective of jnana, the knowledge which is greatest secret. And this is unenvious, anusuyavete. And we see again there are so many crossings. One is between this karma and adjective, the other one is between adjective, and between adjective and recipient. So again we have one ill nested and two well nested, the recipient and adjective. This one, this is the recipient and this adjective, this is well nested. Karma and adjective is also well nested, but between two adjectives, this crossing is ill nested. So we see that ill nested and well nested, we have both unilateral, but it is ill nested. Here this is well nested. Mutual and unilateral we had ill nested, and here we have well nested. So actually well nestedness or ill nestedness is not giving us any information regarding whether the sentence is good or bad. Actually, all these are good sentences, but we have ill nestedness also. And this example we have seen. Then there are many more examples. Here we have Jyoti. What is it? Jyotir yogi prapya nivartate. Jyotihi prapya yogi nivartate. This is the meaning here. The yogi on traveling the path of smoke, dhumo ratri hitatha krishnaha, shanmasaha dakshinayanam. So the yogi on traveling the path of smoke, night, the dark half of the month, and the 6 months of the southern path of the sun, tatra chandramasam, okay, the dark half of the month, and then jyotir yogi prapya nivartate. Jyotihi prapya obtains the light, and the yogi nivartate, he returns to this world. So there is this relation between yogi and nivartate and prapya and jyoti. There is this crossing between karta and karma, and this is there in Bhagavad Gita. Of course, such examples where the crossing is between two karaka relations, two mutual expectancies, is very rare. We found only 9 or 10 examples in the complete Bhagavad Gita, where either karta karma or karta karana or karma karana, such crossings were there. But this is another example of karta and karma. Vaktum arhasi asheshena divya hi atma vibhutayaha yabhihi vibhutibhihi lokan iman tvam vyapya tisthasi. So here tvam lokan imam tvam vyapya tisthasi. So tvam and tisthasi, there is a relation between these two words, and lokan vyapya, pervading this word. Okay, you stand there. So here lokan vyapya, there is a argument relation, verb argument, and here also tvam is the verbal argument of this, and these are intervened, and you have this karta and karma relation. But of course this is well nested because of the well nestedness principle. There are many more such examples. Okay, so now this is something very interesting. We have two separate, if I consider these two lines separately from this shloka, Tan samiksha sah kaunteya sarvan bandhun avasthitan krupaya paraya avishtaha vishidan idam abravit. So Tan samiksha, after seeing all these, that kaunteya, sarvan bandhun avasthitan, all the relatives who were standing there, who were present there. So this tan is referring to sarvan bandhun avasthitan, those who are all, those relatives who are standing there. Samiksha, after observing or seeing them. And who saw kaunteya. So this is one part. And the other part is krupaya paraya avishtaha. He was filled with compassion. And then vishidan idam abravit. He spoke these words after becoming sorrow or dejected. So you can consider these as two different sentences, where krupaya paraya avishtaha, which is an adjective of kaunteya, if we consider this as a different object or different entity, then this is an independent sentence. The first one is independent and there are no crossings. But the moment we want to link kaunteya with this, then we have this problem of crossing, because kaunteya will be related to this and tan will be related to sarvan. So there is this crossing. So here we have tan sarvan bandhun avasthitan. Bandhun is the head and sarvan avasthitan, all these are the adjectives of bandhun. Then we have this problem of crossing. But if I say tan is my head instead of bandhun, then the crossing disappears. And we do not have any crossing when we consider tan as the karma instead of bandhun. So when you understand this poetry, actually we are parsing it in parts, and then we understand it, and then later on we try to resolve these anaphora or visheshana, etc. And then we don't see any problem in understanding them, because there is a proper vibhakti there. That vibhakti helps us to link the two words which are far away, which are separated by several other things. I would like to conclude that well-nested, from the computational linguistics point of view, there are well-nested trees which include planar graphs. Well-nested is something which relaxes the constraint on planar graphs. And there are ill-nested trees. Under ill-nested, again, there are two kinds of things. One is where both the relations have unilateral expectancies and where you have the mutual expectancies. And what we found is, instead of characterizing them as well-nested or ill-nested, because we found well-nested and ill-nested both kinds of trees, which relate to the proper Sanskrit sentences or verses. Most of the study here is on verses, not on prose. So they didn't provide us any linguistic insight, but the relations corresponding to utthita and utthāpya-ākāṅkṣā, they provided us better insight, that which crossings are possible and which are not possible. If it is unilateral, then the crossing is possible. If it is not unilateral, if both the relations are mutual, then it's very rare to have such kind of ill-nested, such kind of sentences. In Bhagavad Gita, out of 700, we found hardly 10 such cases where we have such crossings. But in those crossings also, it was well nested because there was a dominance of another relation, such as Purvakala or something like that. So in a sense, what I can say is the concept of this mutual expectancy and unilateral expectancy helps us in understanding the word order in Sanskrit in a better way than the criteria of well-nested and ill-nested. The reason essentially being Sanskrit is inflectionally rich, and it is storing all this information in the vibhaktis, which makes it possible for us to establish the connections, even if the words go far away. So with this, I think I would stop at this point and invite questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions already? I have some questions that maybe
Yes.
So if I remember correctly, there is no equivalent to utthita and utthāpya in Western linguistics.
In computational linguistics, they do not still have this concept. Yeah.
in general?
In computational linguistics. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have the occasion to look in broader field, broader
No, not. No, in pure linguistics, I have not looked at, but in computational linguistics, these are the things which they have, and there is no concept of, it may be because in the case of languages where the position is important, there is no concept of, I should not say there is no concept, but because the position becomes important, they don't look at the whether it is a mandatory argument or actually it's a good question. This I think we should look at it from the mandatory arguments and optional arguments in fixed word order languages. That may give us a clue, which is a very nice. Thank you for this question, and this we can explore. Because the arguments which are optional can move in fixed word order languages. Like Ram gave a flower to Sita on Monday in the market. You can have in the market, and on Monday they can move. But we need to see whether you can have insertion of other arguments from other verbs. And I think that will be a bit difficult because the arguments like location or instrument, we need to see the mutual compatibility with the verbs also. So I don't know. But this is a good point which we can think of and explore other languages from this point of view.
Questions? I would like to ask, so this, you found how it works and what is correct and not correct sentence, but does it help you? Do you apply it in your parser? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Suppose you get a wrong sentence, it will become a red flashing light?
No, actually it is, well, it's not for, so far we have not, okay, I will put it this way. If it is a wrong sentence, machine will not parse it. Okay. But there are good sentences also which machine does not parse. And therefore, if machine does not parse, we can't say that it is a wrong sentence. But what it helps us in is, suppose machine has identified certain parse, and there are n number of parses, we can throw out some of the parses saying that these are bad because there are these violations. And then remaining things, whichever are correct, we can rank them and choose the best among them. So this is more for removing the odd man out.
In your previous lecture also you mentioned, although it was free word, or you mentioned the traditional saying which gives the preferred way of analyzing. Yes. Is that any practical use in the parsing? And what was that sentence again?
That is Visheshanam Puraskritya Visheshyam Tadanantaram Kartru Karma Kriya Yuktam Tad Anvaya Lakshanam. This is one, and there is one more in which order they should go, etc. So this preferred word order Well, there were a lot of studies. One Professor Aralikatti from Rashtriya Sanskrit Vidyapith Tirupati, he studied the modern Sanskrit. He was some 50 years ago, he did these studies where he looked at the modern Sanskrit writings and the word order they followed. And he has some observations in which what is the word order, etc. That word order is more or less similar to the word order which we find in modern Indian languages. And then actually what would be interesting is look at the prose order in the commentaries, because typically Mallinatha etc. will give the prose word order for every shloka. It will be a very good study to see that prose word order and see in which order, what is the default word order. Is it the same as is being mentioned in the in these Samasa Chakram, I think, is the book in which this word order was mentioned. So it would be again interesting to see that, and if that matches, then definitely we can use it for generating the Anvaya. Right now, currently what we are doing is we are following that Karika, and we also have the Anvaya of these Bhagavad Gita shlokas as well as of Raghuvamsha, etc. So we have the prose and the verse. And from that prose, the machine has learned the preferable word order. Using the machine learning approaches, we have trained, we have written a module to learn the preferred word order automatically. And that word order then we use for generating the prose word order for a given shloka. So if a shloka is given as an input to machine, then machine uses this preferred word order, which is learned from this data, to generate the prose word order. But of course, these studies will help us further. The Mallinatha's commentaries or various other, wherever we have the Anvaya given, such parallel data will definitely help us in providing better Anvaya.
Another question, there is some exception, I think, to your principles, which probably the parser will never discover. And that is what they call the Dehali-Dipa construction, or the Apokoidu construction, where a single word has function in two ways.
Yeah.
Did you, like, for instance, asya, genitive can sometimes be constructed with two clauses. Very conveniently, but if you parse, you will probably get only one, and then it will be blind.
So there are many such cases where you have cases of ellipsis, where the verb needs to be repeated. All these things we are not yet handling. We don't know. But when you have the same word is to be interpreted in two different ways, a kind of shlesha, sabhanga or abhanga shlesha, whatever, that can be handled by machine. But of course, it's human being who is choosing the analysis, proper interpretation. So that is possible. But if the same word needs to be repeated at some other point in order to make it complete, that is a kind of example of ellipsis which we are not handling yet. Yes.
In one of your sentences, you had a vocative.
Yeah.
And you had a dependency between this vocative and the verb.
Yeah.
But this verb form was in the imperative. Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it true that you have dependency with vocatives only if you have an imperative sentence? But if it's not imperative, there is no need to have any dependency.
Mm, mm. I think so, but I'm not sure. I have to see my parser how it works. I don't know. I can check.
Because I was surprised of this dependency of vocative, but if it's imperative, yes, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
let's see.
So I can go and see my
Title should be shown.
okay.
It sounds the same in Hindi.
Shrunu.
Shurnu instead of shunu.
So I can see this Bodhya lot lakar, yes, and then in Tavatu also there is one Namaha. There are yeah, one is this lot lakar where it's there, and the other one in some of the Krudantas also it is there.
It is Mr. Vocative. Vocative is there.
Yeah, vocative in lot lakar.
And but in lot also you have,
He
is going Bharata.
Oh, Bharata, he is going. Huh? Oh, sorry. I had written that it is lot, but now I have removed that constraint. Yes, so it's there for any. Initially, I had kept it in for imperative, but now I have relaxed that constraint and I say that it's allowed anywhere. Yeah, so he has given one example. Oh, Bharatalu, he is going. Okay. So
you need the dependency.
yeah, I get the dependency there. I don't know. I don't want to run my system if I can have access to, yes. Let us see. Bharata Ramaha Gacchati. Like this? This is the sentence you wanted to say?
Yes.
Bharata Ramaha Gacchati. Okay. So let me see what it does. I don't know. It's taking time. Yeah. It gives Sambodhya. Sorry, I should have IAST. Again, it will take time. So initially I had done it, I had restricted it, but then I commented it. So it's Sambodhya vocative. Okay. Actually, see, this is a case of, hey Bharat, look, Ram is going. So the verb look is missing. Okay. Hey Bharat, listen. Ram said something.
In a number of such occurrences where you want to be addressed to the listener of the tale being told,
Huh.
who came.
Yeah.
This is the case.
Yes. Similar. Right. So
it's, I mean, what you mean, there is a syntactic relationship.
yeah, actually, it's very. I should not say that it is directly related to this verb. You are just addressing this person.
Yes.
It's vocative, but vocative of what? Vocative of listen or see, not vocative for the activity that is happening. Yeah. So this is something wrong. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
It's a question.
But then we will have to insert these verbs and then say that and
It's not very nice means to assume everywhere the ellipsis, where normally in normal speech you will not expect that so many ellipses.
no, what can be done is see here, instead of calling it vocative for this, this should be given a different name.
Exhortation.
And that name will then, when we do the semantics of it, look at the semantics of it, we supply certain verbs like listen or look.
Yeah.
And then,
The
yeah,
Western approach.
good.
In India, there's a very different interpretation of the vocative, pradurbhava. Oh, Krishna. You invoke Krishna and then he becomes visible. To evoke. That is in Narayana Bhatta's grammar. So this is a typical European way of thinking. The language has a function only to talk and to, but for him it has also the function to pray or to imagine or to.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that would be inserted somewhere in the analysis, but this works perfectly, of course.
Yeah, so Arjun has mentioned that these extra verbs are not necessary. The vocative itself is to take that person's attention, either visual or auditory. So it's very, so this is the interpretation. See, we need to interpret this vocative in a different way than the vocative in imperative sentences. We need to do that. So we will mark these as 1 and 2. Okay, where vocative 1 is the normal vocative and vocative 2 is the other one, where we need to supply some extra information. Okay. So, yes.
Another question concerning quantification. In Sanskrit, you don't have any explicit way of quantifying with articles, for instance, or the.
Yeah.
So it is that the order of words is used to express quantification.
Yes.
Like if you say the boy is in the room, and then you're alluding to some boy which is already in the discourse. Yes? But if you say in the room there is a boy, then you're alluding to a new boy coming.
Yeah.
In the discourse.
Yeah.
So is there some interference of this phenomenon with
no, actually what we can say is in the dependency tree we are not showing this information, but for semantics when we want to represent the semantics, we will have to take this word order into consideration and then map them. But as far as the parsing is concerned, okay, if you are parsing only one sentence, but if you are parsing a paragraph where we need to do the anaphora resolution, this information is important. Yes. Yeah. So at present, we are just passing one sentence at a time. We are not taking this into account, but we will have to take this into account when we are parsing a group of sentences, because there is some crucial information in word order. So, yeah.
I have one more question. So, did you also try to work with very difficult, let's say, scientific Sanskrit or commentary on Sanskrit, very long, complicated sentences? We had one specialist there who was very good at working at that. So, but did you try to work with that also? Does it give special problems if you have very complicated nominal sentence? Or
well, if it is a nominal sentence without a verb, definitely my machine will not work, because we are following Vyakarana Shabdabodha, grammarian Shabdabodha, where the verb is at the central position. So we need to supply the verb.
Supply bhavati.
Yeah, bhavati, asti, whatever you supply, and then it will work. If there are many adjectives, it doesn't matter. But if there are many adjectives, then machine slows down. This is another thing which we have observed.
Time, you have to wait 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
Yeah. This is taking time, and we will. Okay. Well, yeah, we have to work on that. The machine is very slow. There are several reasons, and partly it is my negligence. I'm postponing the work. I need to look at it. Sambodhana, I don't know why he's asking us to look at the term Sambodhana. Maybe Arjun, can you throw some light on what do you want to say? I don't know. He may be. Does he have? If he has, he is not happy with our vocative 1 and vocative 2. He is saying no. We need not have. He is connected, but he should be given permission for audio.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yes, Arjun.
Oh, wait.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Let me increase. Yes, you are audible.
That is another verb. That's not necessary, right? Because when we
Ask to unmute. I'm trying to unmute. Ask to unmute. You can do it from there, I think.
am I audible?
Yeah,
Now
you are
yes.
audible. Yes.
Okay. For Sambodhana, I think I'm still in that previous question. I was trying to understand that particular concept, which you mentioned that when we use Sambodhana, we need another verb. Say Pashya or Shrono.
Yeah.
Then Ramaha Gachati or something like that. But when we are using vocative case, that itself, like Sambodhana itself, it's like seeking that person's attention. That's why it's called Sambodhana. Sambodhana, Buddha Vagamana is the root. So, auxiliary or auditory or visual, complete attention must be
Right. So for that attention itself, if we want to, if we want to verbalize that attention, we will have to use the verb such as
No,
pashya or
vocative
whatever,
case,
right?
vocative case itself is highlighting that particular aspect, right? Buddha
Yeah, but it is
is
not vocative for gacchati. See, the whole argument is this Bharata is not vocative for gacchati, the action of gamana kriya. It is vocative.
he Bharata must know that activity. So
Yeah.
what he must be see or listen or understand is the activity, the main activity which is moving of Rama. That's why in that sense it is connected, right?
Yeah.
So the graph which is shown is correct. What I feel.
Yeah.
Because why we called him? Because the main activity, Gamana Kriya, must be known to him. It must be understood, or he must perceive that. He must aware that of that particular activity. So for Sambodhana Bhakti, the main activity is directly connected. That's what Buddha, that Bodhana is happening to him.
Okay. Take the example of imperative and tell me, is it not different from this? So, Bharata tvam gaccha.
Okay. That is also same, right?
Okay.
I
Bharata
mean,
gaccha.
karta,
Okay.
yeah. For Gamana Kriya, I mean, you are supposed to go. That, I mean, to get his attention.
What I'm saying is something, yeah, it makes sense. Thank you, Arjun. So whether it is a lot lakar or any other, it doesn't matter. But because in both the cases, you are asking the person to pay attention. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Well, any other questions from anybody?
You could also use Vedic accent plus, which is in fact also Paninian accent, but many people don't study that section. But and then you see that the Sambodhana is accented separately. Means, let's say strong Bharat come here, then strong plus Bharat together are accented as vocative.
Yeah.
One udata at the beginning and all the rest. So that shows that it is simply an isolated part in the sentence.
Well,
that is how it is often
okay. So whether it is imperative or not, it is an isolated part.
Isolated.
Yes, that's true. Right. So no, earlier we were thinking that if it is imperative, then we need to mark it as vocative. If it is not imperative, then we will mark it in a different way. But what Arjun said is, no, in both the cases, it is the same interpretation. So when we are going from, see, the semantics that is expressed here is not complete. We need to further expand the semantics. And there we were thinking these two semantics are different, but when Arjun explained it to us, I am convinced that these two interpretations are not different. What you are saying is that information is available in the accents. At present, we are not handling accents, but suppose we decide to handle accents, definitely that will help us in identifying this relation. Sure.
Because what do you do if there's an adjective to the vocative, like strong Bharat or?
It's, I think we mark it as Visheshana, Veera Bharata. Okay.
They are put together.
They are two different words, right?
They are linked.
Yeah, they are linked. So it should mark it as an adjective, or I don't know whether Yes, it is marked as an adjective. Good. It says Veera is the Visheshana for Bharata. Yeah. It says this is one entity. Okay.
And always victorious Bharat means that will also come.
Yeah, you what is
enemy subduing Bharat.
Give me the Sanskrit expression.
Basic example that
Shatrum. But then the verb will be in which
in the present participle, so,
Shatru Pratyay. Shatrum Jayan, Vijayan or Jayan Bharata, can we say? But it changes. Jayan. But what will be the vocative form of Jayat? I have to see. Jayat, the vocative form of this I need to see. And I don't know whether my machine handles the vocative of Shatru form. So Jayat.
Let's say other way around. Shatuna Jita Bharata. Then he has been conquered by that. And we have the past participle.
Okay.
It's easier at least now.
Shatruna
Jita Bharata.
Jita.
Shatruna Jita Ravana, if you want to follow it.
Jita is short.
Shouldn't be short. Jita Ravana.
Ravana.
Or even Ramena Jita Ravana.
And then?
And then there comes the main sentence, any sentence, because vocative is isolated.
You are Ramena Jita Ravana. Sita Agachati.
Yes.
This Jita, is this short one? Or
Yes,
it's
Jita.
short? Huh?
But yeah, that should be both Jita.
Long?
Short and
Silpa Prana.
Jita Ravana.
No, the J, lowercase I and lowercase c.
Jita. Jita Ravana. Okay.
Sita Agachati. Oh, Ravana, who has been conquered by Rama.
Sita is coming.
Sita is coming.
I'm not sure whether I'm allowing any relations of this. No, it's not doing, because for vocative I have not allowed any relations.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in Vedic you have it too. I don't know in Ramayana.
For vocative I'm not allowing, but this is a very good example, counter example, so I should see this one. Okay. So there are these constraints which are there on which relations are allowed, which combinations are allowed. So I think I have put a constraint that this sambodhya, vocative will not have, I'm allowing only adjectives, not others. Yeah, not other things. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
There is a problem in dependency grammars of which way the arrows should go. For your
Okay.
semantic prose, oracle,
Hmm.
you are following ākāṅkṣā.
Hmm.
The verb is in need of its arguments.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have the arrow to the argument. Yes. But for dislocation, it's a bit more debatable, yes, because you have the substantive that is pointing to the adjective. But
Okay.
that's counterintuitive. The substantive is not in need of adjective, but the adjective is in need of the substantive.
Okay. Yeah.
Why
So,
do you have the arrow this way?
Well, see, these arrows, they are not telling you the expectancies. They are just telling you what is the relation of one word with the other. So it says that Sita is the karta of this.
Yes.
Okay. It's not saying that this has expectancy or whatever. It just tells you what is the relation. So between the adjectives also, this is the Visheshana. So this arrow head is telling me what is the role of this. The name, see, because you can have a relation like father-son. So I should tell who is the father and who is the son. And therefore that arrow is there, and name of the property of that one, name of the role of that is given here. This is the. Yeah, Sita is the karta. Yes, Sita is the karta. Yeah. So this has nothing to do with the expectancies.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just naming the relations, and this is the convention we are following.
Do you think you can re-engineer the parser as a Shlesha tracker? That you put the Shlesha and then it gives you two options.
Well, okay. So good thing. Right now, first thing is for Shlesha, you can have either Sabhanga or Abhanga Shlesha. If it is Sabhanga Shlesha, then it is Gerard's engine which we will have to use, which will split and show what are the possibilities. And once you have that, suppose you have Abhanga Shlesha, that is the same expression can be interpreted this way or that way. It is the meaning which is not necessarily the relations. It's more kind of meaning that is involved there. And meanings we are not representing here. What we are representing is the relations. Of course, if because of two possible vibhaktis, like in neuter gender, you can have either nominative or accusative. Both the forms are same. And if the Shlesha is because of that, then we show both the analysis. So for example, let me say Vanam Gacchati. Now this is ambiguous. Either somebody is going to Vana or Vana itself is going somewhere in the sense of metaphoric usage. And machine will give you two possibilities. Here, the first possibility, it says Vana is Karta, but it says there are two possibilities available. So you can go and choose the other one. And you see here, vana is karta and karma. So I can select the karma and
Vanam nasham gacchati, the forest goes to destruction. So then you have vanam as
yeah, just 1 minute. So here you get the karma. Okay. Okay.
he goes to the
Yeah, somebody goes to forest. Okay, what did you say? Vanam?
vanam nasham gacchati. Correct?
Nasham gacchati?
It goes to destruction.
Yeah, it's possible. Yes. Vanam nasham gacchati.
Environmental issue.
But there is only one meaning, right?
To me, yes. In my intention, yes.
Only one, yes. But yes, and you get this vana as karta and nasha is karma. Okay. But if this were a neuter gender word, there would have been two possibilities. Like vanam yanam gacchati. So either vana is the whole forest is going towards the new vehicle and people in the forest, they want to go and see that vehicle, or the vehicle is going to the forest. Both readings are possible there, and machine will show both. Okay. Okay. So, so this is actually I wanted to show the all the various tools that are available on our website, because next talk will be totally a different talk. So, so we have several tools here. Yes, I can. Yeah, that's also, I would take some few minutes. So you have the morphological analyzer and various generators, then sandhi splitter, but all these things are also available on Gerard Yuer's heritage website. And
from this to the other script, to Roman script or transcription, it's easy, or
yeah, you can go, you can use this. Yeah, that is possible. You can, I will show you. So most of these tools are available on heritage website, but there are few here which are very specific to Samsadhani. For example, compound generator, which shows the complete prakriya of, I will take examples from Siddhanta Kaumudi. And so here are examples that are given in Siddhanta Kaumudi. You can see the derivation of compounds following the Paninian usage. Paninian process. So let me go to the example which normally we study during our compound formation. It's Rajannas Purushasu, and it will generate Raja Purusha. So it says that the Samasa Vidhayaka Sutra is Shashti. And sorry, I'm showing it in Devanagari. I could have gone to IAST also. And then some suffix is here, no suffix is added. It gets Pratipadika Sanya because of this sutra. And then there is a process which word will come first, upasarjana, prathama nirdishtam upasarjanam, etc., purva nipata, etc. I will not go in all these details. I just select no here for the time being. And then there is the lop, deletion of these vibhakti pratyayas. And then there is a deletion of this na, and you get this Rajapurusha. So the process which is described in Panini for derivation of this compound. All the examples from Siddhanta Kaumudi are given here, and you can go through them.
These are thousands of examples.
Yeah, all those examples are given here. Yeah. And then,
Months of work of typing.
no, it's a program which my student has written. So it's not the derivation for each of them we have not given, but all these 400 sutras, those were the sutras were translated into computer program, and now it is computer which is simulating what Panini's process is. So you can give your own example also. It's not that it works only for these examples. You can give your own example and it will work. And then
All from the Tajika section. So
samasa. Yeah, all examples from. But you can give your own example also. So instead of Raja Purusha, if you want to say Ravi Purusha, you want to generate a new compound, machine will generate that.
Sometimes you get an extra suffix.
Yes, all those are incorporated. I don't have the ready-made examples now. Well, I will answer this in a moment. So I don't remember the examples now, so I can't take, but when some suffixes are added, samasanta pratyayas, then that is added and then it generates. So it's there. Then you have Nyaya Chitra Deepika, where suppose you are given some text like, again, this is in Devanagari, I'm sorry, something like the definition of Prithvi, Lakshana of Prithvi as Samavaya Sambandhavachinna, Gandhatvavachinna, Gandhanishta Adheyata Nirupita Adhikaranatavati. Some such definition is there. And you need to understand that one. So here is a program which will, let me select this, yeah. Samavaya Sambandhavachinna, Gandhatvavachinna, Gandhanishta Adheyata Nirupita Adhikaranatavat Vastu. So machine has split it as Samavaya Sambandha Avachinna, Gandhatva Avachinna, etc. And then we ask it to parse. Machine has produced some parse. We can view the conceptual graph. And it says Samavaya Sambandha Avachinna Adheyata, which is in Gandha, which is avachinna by Gandhatva, Nirupita Adhikaranatavat. So if you are stuck up with some such expressions of Nyaya, which typically...
You can explain what it means, like it is a...
Oh, okay, fine. This is...
It's a thing which is cut off, which is vichinna, which is separated from...
Yeah. Well, this is a definition of, see, these Nyaya people, they use certain terminology like avachinna and nirupita. Nirupita is kind of determined by. Avachinna is something which is delimited by. So suppose I say there is a book on the table, then what is the relation between book and table? It is a sanyoga sambandha. But if you have oil, the sesame seed and the oil in it, oil is there inside this, which is inherent, which is by inherence relation. So these various relations they talk about, and these relations are important because when we just say, when we just use the words like book is on the table, with, or I can say the ceiling is on my head, but this ceiling is not on my head as the book is on the table. The relations are different. And this reality they want to express in a better way. And therefore they have brought in these special terminology. Now, these expressions, they are like big compounds. And in order to understand that compound, we need to understand the internal structure of the compound, how the words are joined together and how it leads to the meaning. So this is a special kind of language which these Nayayikas have developed. And at some point in time, almost all branches, including Vyakarnas or even philosophers, Ayurvedic texts, they started following this particular language, which is a kind of an artificial language, which can express the things unambiguously. So people started using it for writing the definitions. So suppose you want to define something, what is karta, what is karana, or what is prithvi. The Vaisheshikas wanted to discuss this. So they gave this kind of, they use this language. So here is a definition of prithvi, because prithvi is something which has gandha. Only prithvi is supposed to have the gandha. No other object among that classification of Vaisheshikas. So they have given this definition that it has the in prithvi resides gandha, but then resides by which relation? So they have to tell that it is inherent in prithvi and all that, and they have this definition. So this particular interface which we have developed is to understand such lengthy expressions. If you have some expression which is a huge compound, in order to understand it, you need to know the internal structure. That internal structure we are showing here. So this is something useful for people who want to understand these lengthy expressions. Yeah. Yes. So just final, you wanted to see the concordance of dhatu vrittis. So let me go to this concordance of Paninian dhatu vrittis. We have taken 3 dhatu vrittis. Dhatu vrittis are the commentaries on the dhatu pathas. Dhatu patha is the list of verbs, list of verbal stems, verbal roots. So we have taken 3 dhatu vrittis: Madhaviya, Kshiratharangini, and Dhatu Pradeepa. And I will go directly to the concordance. And here what we see is the Gana, then Dhatu is there. Dhatu, the verbal root along with the markers, Anubandha. And here you have without Anubandha. And then you have the meaning, Padi, and set information, etc.
Means the whole commentary on who, for instance, is there. No? If you click somewhere.
Yeah, I will come to that. And then these numbers, when you click on these numbers, you can go directly to the commentary in the text. So you can see the commentary here. Okay. Okay. So if you click on this, then you get all the verbal forms. Okay. They are there. So it is directly linked to the verb generation. But if you click on this, this is something very interesting. All the words that are derived from the verbal root bhu that are there in Apte's dictionary are given here. So all the words that are derived from verb bhu by adding various suffixes or prefixes. The red ones say that a prefix is added and this is the suffix. So we get ad plus bhu is adbhuta. Adhi plus bhu plus quip is adhibhu. Then you have anubhava, antarbhava, etc. Or samudbhava. These are all nouns that are derived from the verb. And if you put the cursor here, you get the Hindi meaning also, janma and utpatti. Okay. So, so essentially you can see how the words are derived from the dhatu by adding various suffixes, various non-finite suffixes. And here you have the meaning and what is the meaning of sattayam or what is the meaning of sangharshe. So whatever definitions they have given, for example, sangharshe is parabhibhava ichha is the sangharsha. Or granthe, ekatra sthapanam sandarbho va granthaha, or granthanam granthaha. So meaning of these are further explained by these dhatu vritti karas. You can sort them alphabetically. You get the alphabetical sorting, or meaning wise you can sort them and you get the meanings.
Sattayam, how many roots express sattayam?
Okay, yeah. So satta, let us go down. Oops, satta. I think I can type in satta and see, or I go here. Yes, satta.
So merci pour votre présence.
Yes,
It is
yeah.
up to 12 we have
Yes,
planned,
yes,
but
yeah.
because we were a little late, we will continue. But thank you.
Sattayam should be here.
Informally we continue, but
yeah.
thank you for the very fascinating lecture plus demonstration. And next week it is again on Thursday, and the topic will be slightly different than what is on the. It will be on chandas and mathematics, I would say.
Yeah.
But we will explain later what it is. I will also try to send email to everyone for the next. The next topic will be slightly different than what was announced.
It's recursion and combinatorics in Pingala Chanda Shastra.
Ce n'est pas encore votre email.
Okay. So for sattayam, there are two verbs. One is bhu sattayam and the other one is vid sattayam. There are two verbs. Yeah, with. Yeah. Yeah.
Like vidyate.
Like yes, vidyate. Right. Yes. So these are the two verbs which we get sattayam. So this is very good for writing, the creative writers who want to use different verbs with the same meaning in their poetry, or so that they can use proper meters. So you can go and see which are the verbs. So bhavati, instead of bhavati, they can use vidyate, something like that. So
And asti doesn't come out because
Uh,
asti should be a kind of synonym, but it is in fact
yes, us, bhu and us.
asa bhave.
Yeah, because it is a, yeah.
One is in this sense and the other is in the other. That's mutual
Yes, yes.
definition more or less.
Well, there is this study also. There is lot of there are few verbs where the meanings are expressed in terms of each other. So there is a circularity. Bhu sattayam and asabhuvi. So there are we have actually you can see these in my student's thesis where she has mentioned all these. There are group of verbs where this dependency is, circularity is there. Yeah.
The other questions
Okay.
or queries.
The link for the next talk.
Yeah. Yes.
I'd be glad to be able to attend.
Yeah. I have you were on the list, so I will send.
Yeah, and then there was
in
there.
advance. I mean, I thought that the previous one would be working, but disappeared. So now I
This meeting where
for
is
all three, but why that doesn't come? So for the next one, I make a new one. And is there among the, the chat
yeah,
people?
in chat there was one something he had asked. So let me, yeah. So Satyanad is saying, I was not able to access your parser online. Could you please try it with the following? Okay. So, well, this is something which is a complex one. So what we will have to do is we will have to.
Right, I agree that it needs, human input. That's what you said. I mean, that's not. I'm not expecting that the full thing should be automatically.
Right,
possible.
but yeah, but let me try it and see what happens.
Yeah,
So,
the only thing is that when I visited your site, I wasn't able to reach a page where I could try it myself. That's
okay. So it is this link where you need to go first.
Yes.
sanskrit.uhyyd.ac.in.
Yes, this I did, but which part of the menu?
And then here in Anusarakam, you go to empty Sanskrit Hindi.
Yeah.
And here I will copy this.
Yeah, I tried that and it gave nonsense. I mean, the Hindi translation consisted of 2 words.
No, first you need to use the heritage splitter.
Yes, I did that too.
Oh, you did this. Okay. And I will
left it in prose. So that's
sloka.
Actually, it's an Arya meter.
Okay, but the meter doesn't matter here. Okay, so now we need to understand this. Bhuja yoga ardha sat.
Chatushtaya bhujona gatat.
No,
but there's also a problem. There's already a problem with the Trichatu Bhuja.
No, why this is there? Bhuja yoga ardha sa.
So it didn't decompose it into Bhuja, Yoga, Ardha, Chatushtaya,
yes,
Bhuja, Una, Gata.
Yeah, but sir is a mistake. I think mistake here. Sir should not be there, right? Bhuja yoga ardha. Sir, why sir is there? I think there is something wrong with this sir.
Oh no, there shouldn't be a sa. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's a misprint. That's okay.
There should not be, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will delete this sir.
Yeah.
Okay. And let us see now. Good.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then you select the correct one.
Yeah.
And After that, you go to my engine. Okay.
Yeah,
But
your engine.
but here there is
I mean,
no, just
I got something like that, but I didn't get the tree.
you will not get, because there is no verb in this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Unless there is a verb, you cannot get a tree.
Well, actually, it is a complete sentence. I mean, it's a
No,
complete
it's
sentence without the conjugated verb.
Yeah. So you have to add asti or bhavati.
Ah, okay, okay. Okay,
And
so it doesn't work if it's just a nominal sentence. Okay.
No, it will not.
Okay.
It may not. I should not say it will not, because yeah, but this is a very big one. Okay, let us see. Sthula phalam.
Yeah, you need the neutral, so you need to do that. And Trichaturbhuja should be one word. It's a compound.
It's Trichaturbhuja bahu.
Yeah, the Trichaturbhuja is one word, so it should be analyzed as a compound.
Yeah, it is a compound.
Okay.
But just a minute. Here I should. My problem is this bahu is.
So it's a bahu pratibahu, that is the opposite side. Bahu means the side of a figure.
Yeah, Trichaturbhuja bahu pratibahu. My problem is I'm not getting nominative is here, ghata.
So the analysis is gata, the product, yoga dada of the half sum, yoga sum dada half,
Okay. Yeah,
of the opposite sides of bahu and pratibahu, Trichaturbhuja over Trichaturbhuja.
This bahu should have been yellow.
Yeah, they should. The bahu pratibahu should go together. It's one side and the opposite side.
So here for bahu, I'm not getting
The right, yeah.
Yellow color.
Yeah, and the prati also should be. I mean, the pratibahu is in terms of tree. It's bahu, pratibahu, and the two should be connected by one.
Well, we keep it as a challenge for next time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. In any case, I will save this and we will discuss this later on. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. Good thing. I will discuss with you later on. That we will see. Yeah.
Single subject.
The problem is the party should be yellow. Yeah, it's a big compound.
Yeah. So we need to think over this. It will take some time for us to understand what is it. But regarding the where is it? Maybe I will go to. I wanted to. So if you give a simple sentence like Ashvaha Shvetaha, here also we can have a smaller one, and there it's possible that if there is no verb, it marks it as an adjective, but not necessarily. But if you give asti, it will definitely mark it as, here it has not marked, okay, Ashvaha Shvetaha, because Shveta is a predicative adjective. If you say it is a shloka where the order is not important, there it's possible that it may mark it as a adjective. It has marked as an adjective. So So even if there is no verb, but you have only nominative words in nominative case, and if machine finds the mutual compatibility between the words, or rather some of them as possible adjectives, then it shows this relation. But if I give Ashvaha and go, it will not mark any relation between them. So the horse, this is not horse, but this is cow. Suppose we want to tell a child, Ashvaha nasti, or that the Ashva which you are calling Ashva is go. This is what you want to say, Ashva go. Machine will not mark this as, it will not parse it as Vishesha Visheshana, but if Asti is added, it will do it. It will parse this sentence. So this sentence, which is from, I understand some mathematical text, this can still be parsed if we provide manually the segmentation. And so, for example, in this case, sthula phalam, we will have to split all these. Then whatever this yoga dala ghataha, I will just mark it this way. Bhuja yoga chatushtaya. But then here you have some ghatat, some panchami.
So the meaning is that the problem is the area, that the result of the computation of the area. Padam is the square root. The square root ghatat from the product of a chatushtaya, the group of 4 times, the half sum of all the sides, minus each of the sides in turn. So you have 4 sides, A, B, C, D.
So, okay. Fine. So now we will have to see the meaning of this ghatat, which is panchami. We need to understand how to mark this. So these are some special issues that are coming up here.
It's the root extracted from. That's the point.
So this one is this will be marked as apadana, but then we will have to understand what is the meaning of apadana in the context of mathematics.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is very interesting, and I think we can continue discussions on this over email. Okay. Yeah. It's very interesting thing, how to interpret these mathematical texts. Yeah. Okay. So,
merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now conclude the Zoom session.
Sure. Yeah.
And we hope I will send everyone a Zoom link in advance, a new Zoom link.
Yeah.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you for your participation, also online. And see you next week, and it will be on.
The exact title was Chandas and Recursive